Welcome back to another episode, everybody. My name's Emery Wolf, and joining me is
Nick Lamb.
and we are Just Two Camera Guys. This is a podcast where we're going to talk about all things camera. Nick, are you excited for today?
Yeah, I know I've been talking about it for a long time, but I finally got my office done here. Just a little bit of organizing left to do, but yeah, it's no longer just a bunch of cardboard junk in the back.
Yeah, I think it's kind of ironic too. Like you went blue, I went red today. We got lights, RGB, just killing it.
Yeah, I've still got to work on my lighting setup, but just kind of threw it together last second. I'll get it dialed
What's
in
wrong with
though.
what you got?
Well, yours has a bit of contrast. There's some black, some red. It's kind of mixed in a little bit better. You
I
know,
feel like mine's actually harder to see. Like I need a bounce on. Oh,
oh, your
wait,
face, yeah, a
I
little
just
bound,
bounced my hand.
little more on your face. But I mean, my background, I got to work on dialing that in eventually.
Man, that's incredible. Just even that little amount of bounce, hey,
Yeah.
makes a pretty sick difference. Nick, you don't know what today's episode is about. Um,
Well, we had a list of a bunch of stuff. I'm assuming we're still working through that list.
yeah, we are.
Nice.
And today's episode's all about choice.
Ooh,
Are you ready for this?
I can't wait. So I've actually got light. You know how people complain about lights being in their eyes all the time?
Yeah.
So I've got two lights hung on the wall here, and they're in my eyes. It's a real thing.
It is. It's funny because I've got the light over here, but I'm looking this way. So I don't know. I always feel like my face is a little bit weird. But again, that's a choice that we all make, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I only got one light. I got to choose something. Um, but this one, we're gonna have a little more fun with this one.
Okay.
So I went to Chat GPT.
Okay.
You know
Uh,
it's gonna be good when you go to AI first off the hop, eh?
yeah. I
And I have
had.
not vetted anything that is on this little list I got in front of me either.
Can I tell you a quick Chat GPT story before we get started?
Yeah. Did you
So,
make good choices?
well, you tell me how good of a choice this was. So, daughter was homesick today and math assignment. And so so there's a program called Mathletics. And the whole assignment was there's literally 40 numbers on the screen, and you have to organize those numbers into categories. So it'll say what numbers are between 21 and 25, what numbers are between 26 and 40, what numbers are between 41 and 45. And you have to add them all up. It's like put 12 in the first category, 7 in the next category, 6, and until it adds up to 40 and hit enter. There's 10 of those questions. And she kept getting them wrong. And I was like, how hard is this? You just count the numbers and do it. So then I started doing it, and I kept getting them wrong too, because you're not crossing them off a piece of paper. You're literally just counting these numbers on the screen, trying to figure it out. So then I was like, can you copy and paste those numbers on the screen? And they go, no, they've thought of that. You can't copy and paste them. So then I did a Caleb where I just screenshotted them,
Like that you're calling it a Caleb.
brought it into OCR, and copied and pasted it. And I told ChatGPT to sort them out for me to get these numbers organized. And it couldn't even get it right. So
Oh, really?
then, yeah, well, it got some of them right. And then I don't know whether we weren't copy and pasting properly. So, and then I said, okay, if ChatGPT messed up this last one, you don't have to finish the assignment. And it did. And she just celebrated. It was like, woo!
Yeah.
But yeah, is
Um,
that wrong? Teaching somebody how to do that? I don't know.
yeah. Honestly, it's the way things are going to be in the future. So, like, you got to know how to do it.
I think so. That was where my mind was going because I was like, this is kind of goofy. It's a weird assignment. It would be different if you just copy and pasted all your homework and told it to do it for you. But this was like 10 questions, kind of tedious work. Perfect job for ChatGPT, I thought.
Yeah. I really like ChatGPT for this randomness sort of stuff, something to help create ideas. I mean, I would never rely on it solely for ideas, although tonight's kind of arguably, I'm going to rely on it solely for ideas, mostly because I don't want to read these things before I actually read them out loud so that I can kind of react along with you.
Okay, fun. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Somebody
So,
interviewing us.
No, not interviewing us. Again, it's about choices. So the whole idea is, would you rather?
Oh, fun.
So,
I like
Nick,
games.
would you rather shoot a fashion campaign using only a GoPro or
Okay.
a VHS camcorder with no rewind button?
Ooh, fashion campaign with
I
only a
I know what
GoPro.
I'd pick. I know what I'd pick.
Or so that's just that one's too easy. But let's just do the exercise. So a VHS camcorder with no rewind button. I'm assuming that that basically means you have to edit it all shot by shot.
Yeah,
So you essentially don't get to edit it.
right.
You would get some interesting stuff because it would look so retro. It would look so cool. That might be the right answer because you would get something that you don't see anymore. But if you're getting paid and they're wanting to get value for their money, you'd have to do it on a GoPro.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, I would totally, if I'm getting paid, getting the money, I'd be charging through the roof and doing it on VHS. Like just ultimate planet. Try to get like as experimental as you can. And then,
Yeah,
all the weird glitches and things you get too, right? Like that's part of it. That's what you want. That's what you would aim for. And then I honestly I think that would work really well in today's social media
I
landscape.
think it would crush really when you think about it, especially if you would have to make that part of the campaign. No, like almost the tagline for the campaign is "Don't rewind" or "No rewind."
Yeah.
It's kind of like a YOLO type thing. You only get one life. You can't go back. Yeah, it could really work out cool.
Yeah. Um, Next one. It's another good one. So, would you rather shoot a short film? I assume they're talking like a narrative kind of thing, something you'd want to plan out.
Hmm.
Would you rather shoot a short film on your phone's front-facing camera or shoot it on red but only get 10 minutes of battery life?
A short film.
I mean, 10 minutes is a short film, right? You'd just have to be like
10
super
minutes of
like
battery's
efficient.
crazy though, because that
Yeah.
includes your setup, your light. So you would essentially have to light the whole thing without the camera, block without the camera, rehearse without the camera, and only use the camera, turn it on, roll, and then get out of it. Boy, that is a tricky one versus the front camera on your phone, which
Yeah. So,
sucks.
yeah. I actually I want to clarify what does the front mean? Like is this the front or is
No,
it
that's the back. That's
the
the
one that
front.
this is the front?
Yeah, the selfie camera.
Okay, the selfie cam. So it's like, well, I guess you wouldn't be able to see what you're
So
shooting,
you
right?
still can't. Yeah, there's limitations even with that
Yeah.
one.
Unless you're shooting yourself the entire time.
Yeah. Boy, I'd have to go with the red and 10 minutes of battery life. But the problem is that you would turn it on your red. You'd use up 2 or 3 minutes of battery life just going to the settings, getting it set up, getting ready to shoot, and then getting your exposure ready. I'd still go red, but boy, that would be a dumb choice when you only get your first scene done.
I think I would choose the same thing. Like I think you could do it like where you basically you have all your settings locked in the camera
Hmm.
and then you set everything up for those settings knowing that you're setting it up. So when you turn on, you're recording like instantly.
Yeah, but so as soon as you change scenes, so if you go to another location, you'd have to still adjust your ISO a little bit, adjust some of your settings there.
That I would try to like counter that with like neutral density or something like that, right?
Hmm.
If you need to do it on cameras, changing spots.
That's actually
Um,
good. You could dial it in with your filters ahead of time.
yeah.
Be ready to
So
go. Everything
I
would be
feel
one
like
take.
yeah, and I feel like we're really bucking the trend here because like I think like the future is probably in the phone. Most people probably would pick the phone. How come how come you think us dinosaurs are picking red?
Well, so I was actually thinking of going phone until I realized you're not going to be able to see what's actually happening. So you're going to be flipping it around. So You could probably set up a monitor for yourself and
Yeah,
get
that's true.
to. You could probably make so you'd have more chances for workarounds with your phone. But then so then this is what your phone limits you to as well. If you're using your phone, you're essentially limiting yourself to outside exteriors because the nuance of light is not going to get seen on your camera phone. So, yeah, I go red. I go red.
Yeah. I'm going to change this one up a little bit. Would you rather photograph a newborn session in a haunted house or a portrait session in a fluorescent lit gas station bathroom?
Okay. A newborn session. So you're talking like baby photos
Yeah,
in a haunted house. So you'd have that haunted house vibe with baby photos. Or you said a portrait session
yeah.
in a gas station, basically. So it's got that
In
fluorescent
in a
light.
gas station bathroom.
Oh, a gas station bathroom.
So yeah, but still
Oh,
fluorescent light, right?
boy. I'm thinking you would haunted house is where I would go because this is what I'm thinking. So you're in the bathroom with a portrait, really limiting. Yeah, you could put them against the wall, maybe make it like a white background. Pull them away from the wall a little bit, maybe make it like a white backdrop. But I'm assuming that scenario you're not allowed to bring extra light because you're just using the fluorescent lighting. Whereas the haunted house, that would look kind of cool for baby photos, wouldn't it?
I That's a great question. I feel like it wouldn't even like I feel like it wouldn't even feel like the haunted house thing is all about like can you sit in there and deal with whatever, creepy feelings you're gonna have because like you gotta
Oh.
think like a baby photo, like when they do it, it's like, the baby and the thing and that's it. But like the entire photo's the baby.
Oh yeah, baby's like in a basket or in a dresser drawer or yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And so baby photos, have you ever seen baby photos done?
I've never done a session or sat in a session with someone doing them. So yeah, I'm not real sure.
So I saw it done once, and I'm guessing that this is the way it's normally done. The person had a huge softbox. So just like the biggest softbox you could get, and just had it turned on for the baby, and then had the camera set up. I think it was tripod, maybe they're hand holding it, but just waiting and then just like fire, 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 wait, get the baby to do something, fire, fire, fire. But didn't have to mess around with lighting because they just had such a huge softbox and kind of their setup dialed in. It was pretty cool.
That's kind of how they do like car photography too. Have you ever watched stuff on that?
No, not car photography.
Like they a lot of times they'll use this giant soft box above the entire car, so it's like bigger than the car, and
Oh,
just pointed down. It's crazy.
I've seen similar setup on movies, but yes,
Yeah. So did
cool.
you actually answer which one of these you would
I'd go
do?
haunted house because the haunted house doesn't scare me. Um, and I think you'd have a better chance of coming out with a photo you'd like. Now,
Interesting.
yeah, you'd probably get something cool with that bathroom gas station, but I feel like the chance of you also coming up with something crappy is just really high. What would you go with?
You know what? I think the haunted house one is the easier one as long as you don't get the creeps. Personally, I actually think the bathroom one sort of lends itself to a little more creativity when you actually have to like think more about what you're doing. And then you'll find ways to play around, find things to do. And I actually think like I know I said portrait, but like I almost think like the portrait you would do, which would be really cool, is actually to show off the bathroom
Ooh,
and like do almost like a full body thing and even to like a high f-stop so that everything's sort of in focus as well instead of just focusing on that person.
interesting. Yeah, I was thinking of trying to hide the bathroom, but
Yeah.
make it
I
part of the look. Do like an album cover or something like that.
yeah I
Them
always
looking in the
like
mirror. Or,
I always like that grunge versus beauty thing, right? And what is actually beauty? Is it the grunginess or is it the beauty, right?
yeah.
I,
Yeah,
I
cool.
like that juxtaposition. I like how that
I like
sits
that. These are
together.
fun. I like these questions.
Yeah. Next one. Another portrait question here, but would you rather do an outdoor portrait session in -40 or in +45 with no gloves or shade allowed?
Hold on, no gloves?
Yeah. So in -40, no gloves, or +45, no shade.
Both of these are impossible. Okay, there's no right answer here because we've both been in -40 and you can't do it without gloves. Like, it's just not possible. And +45, that's just too hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
what was the scenario again? What are we filming? Because I gotta
An
think how
outdoor
long.
portrait session.
An outdoor portrait session. Okay, so the heat is just brutal. That's brutal. So you would have to have a car there with AC on. You're in the car with AC.
Yeah, or
Hop
like one of
out.
those like AC units they use at football games where they just blow it across the whole bench.
Yeah. But so then this is saying no shade. So I'm guessing once you start, so basically the way I'm interpreting this is you can stay warm, you start your photo session, and then end it. So the whole photo session, if you're outside at that +45, what do you have in that? 3, 4 minutes before it's going to be too
Yeah.
hot?
Well, yeah, I think yeah, you get some time. The funny part is I'm less worried about the heat, more worried about like sweat.
Well, in the sun, you just lost your focus there. In the sun, it's hot. Like +45 is really hot.
Hmm.
You're going to pass out at a certain point with that. But
Yeah,
-40 with no gloves, you've if you're unless you're allowed to put your how you put your hands, tuck your hands in your jacket. So I'm guessing you could do that, but hands on the camera, you've only got 20 or 30 seconds. So you'd have to discuss the photo, they take position, do it. I'm going to go +45. I feel like you got
yeah,
a couple minutes, you got a chance for a better photo.
I I I would agree. I think that's the more logical one. But with that said, I think I would actually pick the -40 just for the adventure of it.
You'd
It's
get a
it,
funky photo because they'd be all dressed up in their toque and
yeah,
bundled up.
it would be different, right?
Yeah. You wouldn't want it just similar to the bathroom one. You wouldn't want to focus on the face. You'd want to show off the outdoors to show the snow and the cold. I
Yeah.
don't think the heat would come across in the photo. Like you wouldn't be able to really show +45. I don't know how you would do that, but you can kind of show -40.
I wonder if you'd get like heat waves in the back if that would actually pick up. You probably could.
Yeah, if you could get some heat waves with the -40, you'd have to show the breath, like the fog or whatever coming out of the person's mouth or nose.
Yeah, it'd be good. Um, so true story too. I'm pretty sure I told you this before, Nick, but -40, I think it was like -35 or something and -40 something with the wind chill out taking a photo. My thumb sitting on top, I had little mechanics gloves on,
Mm-hmm.
but my
Oh,
thumb sitting on top of the camera,
yeah.
holding the button with the wind coming over top, I actually froze the top knuckle of my thumb. I didn't even know, right? Like I just couldn't feel it anymore. And then when I got back into the car, I was like, "Ooh, that's burning. Like that's not good." And then when I got home, like there was definitely like a little round patch of like burnt skin from the wind. So the wind is the real killer, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and footwear. Did I ever tell you the -35, -40 story about that? What was it? It was like the Ford Super Bowl commercial I was working on one year.
No,
I didn't tell you this story?
I don't think so.
So I was second camera assistant on it, and they brought down operator and a first assistant, and I think the DOP from where was it? LA. They came down from LA, and the first was in the camera truck building the thing, and me and Todd were there building our camera, and they were building theirs. And we were just like, yeah, the cold's crazy. You got to be ready for it. And he's like, yeah, I'm ready. And we were like, well, what do you got for boots? Because you got to have the big those big, huge boots, right?
Big baffins.
Yeah. And he had these hiking boots. And we were like, those aren't going to work. And he's like, no, uh, on the label, it says they're good till minus 40. And I remember Todd just going, well, all right. And sure enough, on the day, the guy's just living in the camera truck because his boots he could only stay outside for about 2 minutes at a time, and then he'd have to come back to the truck to warm up his feet and then back up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
that's
it was
pretty
funny.
classic. But do you know what? Actually, our last. So I know we're recording these in advance, but like I guess it's like 3 episodes ago now from this one. We asked, the question of like these like terrible moments. That would have been a great story to share for that
Yeah.
one.
Although that was I remember like we felt bad for the guy, but there was also that little bit of you could have listened to us because
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think people quite understand the cold and how it works sometimes. Like
yeah.
especially when you're not used to it, right? And actually the funny part too with me picking the cold, because I just like the idea of the challenge. There's like part of me that's like where it's like, well, it'll make me a man if I can work in the cold. And there's like some really good stuff if you ever want to Google it on cold shaming in Canada and like how it's a thing, right? Like, when someone in Toronto's like, it's cold, it's minus 37 here today, you're like, come on, that's not cold, buddy. Settle down. And you have that wet cold. That's not like this dry cold, right? Like, so you always try to like up the cold ante, like
Yeah.
your coldness is somehow making you better. It's actually pretty funny stuff. It's worth a read, totally worth a Google. Read it sometime on cold shaming in Canada. It's great.
What?
We'll jump into another one here, Nick. Would you rather film a drone sequence surrounded by aggressive seagulls or with 5% battery and no GPS?
So a drone sequence. So have you ever been around an aggressive bird before?
Yeah, with drones too. Yeah.
Okay, so what were they doing with the aggressive birds in
They,
your drone?
they, they basically do fly ats drones. So they'll kind of come down and pop at it and try to like knock it off. But I've never had a bird hit it, but I've also kind of stopped like when I've seen that. It's
Yeah,
like,
because you don't
okay,
want
I'm
to.
pissing these birds off and you pull it back, get away from them.
Does it? So one time, so this was in New Zealand, but I was golfing and I had a membership to this course. So I'd done the course several times. And then one time there was a bird just sitting out in the middle of the fairway and I hit my ball up beside the bird. And it was a big bird, like picture the size of almost like a Canada goose or something like that.
I, I'm just picturing Big Bird.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Big Bird. It was a big it was a big bird, not Big Bird. And I got up to it and this bird just looked at me and it just freaked out and it started flying and it tried to take my head off. Like I literally had to dive to the ground and it zoomed past me. I stood up and I thought, well, I'm going to try to hit my ball one more time. And it circled around. And it came back at me again. And I had to dive again to the ground. And then I just ran off. I left the ball. Like the ball's still in the middle of the fairway there. And I just ran off to the next hole. And I just kept skipping that hole every time I played the course. I never went back to it just because I
You
didn't.
you do have an intimidating presence.
Yeah.
So what did all that have to do with drones?
Well, I don't want a bird messing with me, right?
You're not a bird guy.
Well, I don't mind, but man, a bunch of aggressive seagulls. So if they were aggressive towards the drone, I feel like I could outmaneuver them, fly away from the drone, kind of lure them somewhere else, and then fly it back, get my shot, and go. But 5% battery, the problem with that is sometimes it'll automatically start sending the drone home on you, and you don't even get a chance to get the shot. I'm going to go aggressive birds.
I,
Feel
I
like I could
actually
work with that more.
actually think I would do the short battery life. Birds, like I just don't like dealing with them. I don't like pissing them off. Like my drone story and birds, I did a shot where there was two elevators, and my big idea was like I'm gonna drive between these and have them go by. This will look kind of nice and
Mhm.
cinematic when they disappeared, right? And then sure enough, as I'm floating by, you can see these birds come out of the one elevator and like just dive bomb the thing. I'm like, oh crap, right? Like didn't realize it. Then like trying to rip this thing and I have to come back around those things, like trying to fly them all around without the birds. And it was just like, you know what? That was a dumb decision. I made a dumb choice, if you will. And yeah, it was like, okay, I don't need to go that close to these things. I don't need to, aggravate these animals. It's just not a good practice. And, I think that probably comes from like that documentary sense too, right? Like if
Mhm.
you were like the guys who do the guys and girls that shoot like the life series and that and how you don't interrupt with nature. I think maybe the same principle there.
Yeah. Yeah, and as long as you can get the shot, especially drone shot, a lot of it's just like, oh, you take the drone, fly by the shot, you're good.
Yeah. But let's be real. The other way probably is the way to go because, like, I think there's one thing everybody can agree with is seagulls are just assholes and no one cares about them.
Yeah. All right, we got to
And
enter the
and we're canceled.
yeah. So we have 9 minutes left.
9 minutes. Do you know what? Let's do one more of these. Let's see here. Ooh, this is a good one just because I have experience with this. Would you rather light a scene using only phone flashlights or record audio using only the camera's built-in mic in a windstorm?
So that one is too easy. It really is. Because in my opinion, there's nothing worse than just on-camera audio, especially if there's any dialogue. That's the easiest way to look like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
And lighting a scene just with your iPhone, yeah, you could make it work way more than you could trying to fix that audio later, unless you did some kind of, what is it, ADR, where you could re-record it. But it doesn't sound like that's an option in your question. So
yeah.
I'm going iPhone. That just feels too easy.
Yeah, iPhone 2. So my daughter convocated from the U of S here a couple weeks back. She at their ceremonies, it was held at the new arena in Saskatoon, the Merlish Belcher, whatever it's called,
Mm-hmm.
and the power went out. Legit, everything just gone.
Wow.
And so these emergency lights come on, right, which is fine. I'm looking across the way and I see like some people had their accidentally had their camera lights on, right? And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, let's see if we can get everybody lighting this up. So like I flip mine up, right, and slowly everybody starts lighting it up, and you
No
could actually
way.
see in the arena. It was mind-boggling.
So you could see there was how many people are in the arena here?
Like I mean, it's an arena full, right? Like a couple thousand.
Like a couple thousand. Circular?
Yeah, yeah, like a hockey arena.
Like a hockey arena. And it
The
was
stage
enough
at one
lights.
end. Yeah,
That's
yeah, and
awesome.
the people they ended up like yelling the last few. There's only like 20 people left to go through, so they
Yeah.
just ended up like yelling it out, and then when it was done, it was done. Like it's like, all right, we got you guys got to get out of here.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, it really was. Like the funny part is we were talking before the event. Like I remember nothing from my convocation.
Yeah.
Like all of it's just a blur. Don't really know what happens, but like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna remember this one all the time just because of that.
Yeah. So it's just as important as that. Um, does that mean she's off the payroll now? Graduated from university. This is
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Thanks.
Wow.
Let's do one more quick one here just because I think it's fun. Would you rather do a surprise proposal photograph while hiding in a bush full of thorns or from a kayak 100 meters offshore?
Okay. So the bush full of thorns. The only thing I'm wondering is if you can position yourself in the bush full of thorns or if they're just like chucking you in. You know what I mean? Because
You're probably dealing with some things there.
if you get into a bush full of thorns, Yes, there's thorns, but you can kind of maneuver around it a little bit. But the kayak from 100 feet, you just need a long lens and you'd need some kind of monopod or something like that to set up in the kayak. Very risky, high risk. I think I'd go kayak.
Yeah, it seems almost like the easier option, which sounds funny, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And the bush full of thorns, the problem with that is like, what kind of shot are you really getting? Are you
Mm.
getting, can you get your lens out of the bush full of thorns? You have to stay in the bush full of thorns. What if you wreck the proposal because you're like, ow, ow, ah?
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about with choices is algorithms. So we all do it. We all spend some time on social media. The algorithm feeds you what you want at the end of the
Mhm.
day, right? So if you look at, someone picking garbage out of the garbage can, you're going to get fed videos of people picking garbage out of the garbage can. It's a thing. Don't ask why. Um,
That's your algorithm.
no, it's not mine. Um,
Just saying for a friend.
yeah.
Not that I,
So yeah, just kind of the thing I want to say about it is just like if you're having algorithm problems,
yeah.
start choosing the right thing to look at.
Ooh,
So I'll just say, for an example, my Instagram, not that I look at it often, but it is literally only photographer stuff on there,
nice.
just so that I am only getting photography stuff through it. Do you do anything like that with social?
You know what? Let's see. So I don't have TikTok. I will get some stuff on Instagram, but I've never really thought of it that way, it's just silly. It's a great way to think of it because, yeah, if I had my perfect algorithm, it would be comedian stuff mixed with photography stuff, mixed with video stuff. What else would be good to look at? Try to think.
Yeah. My Facebook, for another example, is really like my friends. These are people who I would talk to like on the street.
Yeah.
I'm still not friends with Nick on Facebook, but
Yeah. Just walk right past me.
that's not true. Um, Nick, too, one last thing. Do you have anything you want to wrap up with?
Wrap up. So I don't have much, but I have to say that I'm quite happy to have my space back out here. Like, this is great. I don't feel like I'm in a storage area. I've got kind of all my stuff back there. I've got, you can't see it to the side, but I've got my little camera bench. Maybe I'll do a tour of it sometime
Nice.
where I've got like kind of my camera laid out, all my charging stuff. Yeah, it's nice. And got my desk out here. Yeah, it feels good. It feels like a good
Okay.
space to be in.
Well, Nick, I've got one last thing to sort of tell you because this episode's going to come out it the end of July, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
End of July-ish. So this is a little bit of an announcement. I'm going to be a changed man by the end of July, Nick.
Okay. What's happening?
I thought you might have guessed just on
Well,
that.
I got a
But
good guess, but I don't want to step on your thing.
yeah, Angela and I will be married by the time this thing comes out.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so a little bit of life change. I think it's been a long time coming, right? I'm obviously
Yeah.
in the basement here now. I hopefully have sold the condo by now too.
Yeah.
We'll see how all that goes. But yeah, a little bit of changes for both of us.
That's kind of exciting.
Yeah,
Wow.
there we go. I think we should wrap up this episode. We're making choices. You're moving out to the garage. I'm getting married.
Yeah.
Like a good friend of mine, Adam Drummond, fan of the show. He's actually commented a few times and stuff like that. As he would always say, make good choices. Have a great night, everybody.
All right. Have a good night.